Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Bsa here, and today I'm going to show you how to retexture Skyrim with your own personally created textures. There's three things you're going to need for this. First things first, you're going to need to get yourself a copy of Fallout Mod Manager, which I will leave a link to in the description. Secondly, you're going to need a program such as Photoshop. I'm using CS5 for this. GIMP will work, but there's a specific thing you'll need, I'll show you now, that you might not be able to find for GIMP, and you need these Nvidia texture tools for Adobe Photoshop. I will leave a link to these in the description as well. Download these, either the 32-bit or the 64-bit, depending on your operating system. I'm using 64-bit personally. Now, once you've downloaded those, install Fallout Mod Manager, don't load it. The first thing you need to do is go into your programs, find Fallout Mod Manager, and click on Bsa Browser. It doesn't matter what game, just click OK for Fallout 3 and you'll get a program that looks something like this. This basically searches through BSAs. BSAs are like packs basically. Click open and then you need to navigate yourself over to your Skyrim folder, which is usually in your program files x86 if you're on a 64-bit system. Might be in program files, Steam, Steam apps, common, Skyrim, and then get yourself over to data and you'll see these things here, and this will happen to yours now. You'll have this little Fallout symbol next to them. That means they can be opened by Fallout Mod Manager. So for this we're going to open textures. Let that load for a second and it'll come up with all these textures here. This is every texture in the game essentially. And then you need to extract these and pick somewhere to extract them. They'll all come out. It'll take a couple of minutes. You know, there's a lot of files there, and eventually you'll end up with some. Didn't mean to do that. You'll end up with something like this. Get a big texture pack. You'll have some empty ones down here, and as you can see, they're all separated into groups. So you've got actors, armor, and that's all your different armors, stuff like that. That's all your textures. And for the purposes of today, we are going to retexture. What should we retexture? We're going to retexture armor, storm cloaks, and this, the Whiterun symbol. As you can see, every file has a second one, the underscore n. That is a normal map that effectively determines where the light hits and how the 3D-ness of a texture effectively. Don't worry about that today. I'll go through that in a future tutorial. Today we're just going to do some basic retexturing. Now I recommend you make a separate folder with your edited textures. So that's what I've got here. My edited textures folder. Again, armor, stormcloaks, and there's my Whiterun symbols. You need to make sure this up here, the textures, armor, stormcloaks, that has to stay the same as it did when unpacked, because that's how the game reads what the texture is. Now we need to take these into Photoshop. So load up your Photoshop. If you've got Photoshop open when you install the plugin, you'll need to do it again. Drag your Whiterun symbol in. And there it is. That is the Whiterun symbol, the logo for the Whiterun shield. You know, the little bit of fabric over the top of it. For the purpose of today, we're not going to do anything fancy. We're going to stick this smiley face over the top of it. So what we do is just knock that down a bit further. Obviously, this is going to look terrible, but it's really just to show you guys how this works. You can recolor stuff like that. If you don't know Photoshop, there's plenty of great tutorials out there. That is terrible. I need to up the tolerance. And there we go, beautiful smiley face. Let's just make it a little bit better, maybe soft light it or some hard overlay it a bit. Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? So now we've got our texture. We're going to file, save as, and okay, so again, I'm in my edited textures. I recommend having a separate folder with the right denominations, just so you've got somewhere to keep your textures. And now that you've done this, now that you've installed that plugin, you should have this new thing here, D3D DDS. So click that. You want to overwrite the Whiterun symbol.dds or whichever file it is. Make sure you're not overwriting the underscore n. Click save, click yes, and you'll get something up like this. Now this is basically quality, and to be fair, I don't actually understand this well. Like normal maps there, don't do that. Personally, I'm using ARGB 32bpp unsigned 8.8.8.8. You'll be fine with the default. Pretty much all works. Just go for this, so it's safe, easy, etc. Click save, and now theoretically, let's just cancel that. If we go into our edited textures folder, which is here, drag that symbol in, and there it is. Of course, that's not quite in our game yet, so get yourself over to your Skyrim data folder, go on textures. If you don't have a textures folder, just create one, and then you want to drag in the armor folder from your textures. Copy and paste that in, And now that armor, that Stormcloaks, and that Whiterun symbol is now in the game. And because of where it is, and because it's in the correct folders, it will now overwrite the one that's in this textures folder that you opened up earlier. So effectively, our texture is now in the game. It's dead simple. That's all you need to do. Let's go to that. The most important thing really is making sure that you've got textures, and then these folders are named correctly. So you've got textures, and then if you're doing actors, you have another folder called actors. If you're redoing a chicken, you'd have another folder called chicken, and then you would replace the file with the correct named file. Let's prove that works. We're going to hop into the game and take a look at our Whiterun guard. So here we are, we come to Whiterun, and unfortunately all the guards decided they didn't want to get a shield out. So we've had to spawn one in using console commands, and ladies and gentlemen, just to prove this works, there's our character sitting with a shield, as you can see. Let's just have a quick look over here, shall we? We're all very excited, excitement building up. And there it is. There is our Whiterun guard's shield, complete with smiley face. It's that easy to texture in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I highly recommend you all go mess around with it. In the future, it's going to get even better as the ability to, for example, you'll be able to create new dungeons and stuff like that when the creation kit comes out, which is now estimated to come out in January at some point. Until then, get used to this, get used to Photoshop, mess around with this, and go in textures and stuff. Make the game better, make the game look how you want to look. If you've got a particular piece of armor that you don't particularly like the look of, go change it. Go make it look better. Do what you do. If you want to uninstall this, it's as simple as deleting the file. Go delete the file that we put into the Skyrim data textures armor folder. Just delete that and it'll go back to normal in no time. Thank you for joining me as ever. I've been Best in Slot. Stick around for more tutorials like this in the future, some more mod spotlights, some more let's plays, all that good stuff. And I'll see you then, guys. Cheers. Bye.